Alright kids, are you ready?
Ready and waiting.
Uncle Walter, why is it so dark?
Well, just a minute now, I think I can get this.
It's dark so it's easier for the monsters to find us.
Did you really ask if we were ready without being ready yourself?
Saki, that's silly. Monsters aren't real.
You know, maybe it's the batteries. Yeah, that's it. Just one moment.
That's what they want you to think. They want you to think they're not real. Really, they just wait till it's dark, then they strike.
Isaac, where are you?
Boo!
Uncle Walter, I'm scared.
There. Alright, I think I found the lights. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now who's ready for a story?
Hey, we're rolling!
Finally. Are you ready to hear the ancient Greek myth of King Midas?
Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
Alright. Well, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a great king named Midas. Now, Midas was a wonderful ruler and treated his people very well. But he was also very greedy and valued gold above everything else. Well, one day, a man named Silenus wandered into the kingdom, was lost. But Midas, being the gracious man that he was, treated him very well and gave him clothes and food, as well as a place for him to rest his head for a few days, around 10 or so, until one day, Silenus had an old student and a very close friend named Dionysus. You see, he came to him. Now, Dionysus is a very powerful being, so powerful, in fact, that he can make your wildest dreams come true. And having seen this hospitality that Midas has provided his true and dear friend, he granted him one wish.
Ooh, I know what I wish for.
And what's that, Isaac?
Fire powers!
That's silly.
He's not.
Is too.
Yeah, well, what would you wish for?
To be a fairy princess.
He's already got a king, Louis. He is a king. That doesn't make any sense.
All right, guys. Let's let Uncle Walter finish up here.
Fine.
Well, as fascinating as all your wishes may be and sound, Midas didn't choose any of those. No, instead he wished for the one thing that he valued most in this world. Unlimited wealth. Specifically, for everything he touches to turn into gold. Wow.
That's really cool.
Yes, indeed. It sure sounded cool at first. And that's what Midas thought as well. In fact, he was so excited to use these new powers, he ran outside and touched the first tree he saw. And sure enough, it turned to gold before his very eyes. Being enamored with his new gift he had been given, Midas went out into his rose garden and decided to touch every single petal, therefore turning every single one of them into gold. Finally, after a long day of turning things into gold, Midas began to become hungry of sorts. Well, he called for all of his servants to come down to the dinner table, and he was met with a very shocking revelation. Every food he picked up, whether it be an apple, a grape, a fish, or a carrot, every single morsel would turn to gold. It was at this moment that Midas realized that all the glitters in life are not gold, and he should have never put his wealth above everything else in life.
Well, come on in. The library's open.
Good day. Yes, it is I, the mayor. Ooh, what do we got going on here?
Oh, yes, Mayor Leonard. What brings you in here today?
Oh, nothing special. Just my usual weekly business check-ins. But when I got here, the library was dark. So, is everything okay in here?
Oh, yes, everything's fine. Aaron and I were just experimenting with a few stories to tell. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's shadows and lights, and it gets really dark for a second, which is kind of scary. But once you start, the stories and everything is fun.
Well, it does look really good, Uncle Walter. Oh, it's just a few old Greek myths brought to life with shadows. Yeah, but it works really well. Hey, why don't you perform in the Cultural Enrichment Festival? Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Mayor Leonard, can he please?
We can help.
Well, if this whole shadow puppet thing is cool, as you say it is, I don't see why not. Why don't you show me what you got, Walt?
Yay! Story!
Well, all right. Well, let me just get these lights figured out, and okay.
Here we go. Time for the ancient Greek myth of the Minotaur.
Ooh, Minotaur.
Yes. You see, there once was a mighty beast born of King Minos' disobedience, who they say could destroy whole cities. This being was so fierce, in fact, that King Minos commissioned one of the greatest architects of the time, Daedalus, to create none other than a giant labyrinth, which no man or beast could ever escape from. You see, this labyrinth was to house the creature, lest he destroy his own kingdom. From that point on, the creature was known as the Minotaur, because he belonged to King Minos.
Oh my! Ooh, that sounds rather inhumane.
It is! But King Minos was a rather ruthless king, and he was quite proud of this trap he had made for the Minotaur. And every time his kingdom went to war, all the prisoners he would send to the labyrinth to be eaten or fought by the Minotaur, never to be seen again. Until one day, a young man named Theseus volunteered to be sent into the labyrinth. King Minos, being the man he was, the ruthless warmonger, that he didn't even bat an eye at the boy's foolishness, and he was prepared to let him run straight into the maze, never to be seen again. However, his daughter, Ariadne, quite fancied this brave young man, and he was not prepared to let him go. Unbeknownst to her father, she slipped him a ball of yarn, telling him to lay it on the floor behind him as he walks through, so he might find his way out again.
Hey, that's pretty smart. But how's he plan to deal with a Minotaur?
That's just it! Because he was in the labyrinth alone with the Minotaur, no one really knows what happened. All we know for sure is he found his way back, and the Minotaur was to never be heard from again.
Well, Leonard, what do you think? Am I good enough for one of your acts?
Gee, well, I don't know, Walter. It really was interesting. I just don't know if it's enough.
What do you mean if it's enough? The whole show is amazing. It had monsters and swords and yarn. Well, maybe not the yarn part, but everything else is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a beautiful princess who saved the day.
Oh, no. The story was wonderful. I just mean the production was a little lackluster.
We could take it up a notch. We could?
Yeah.
We can get some bigger cutouts.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think if...
Maybe some sparkles.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thought.
But what about we add some colored lighting? Or maybe some flashing lights?
Now, hold on. I already struggle enough with one flashlight.
Explosions.
Isaac, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but for the safety of our citizens, I'm going to have to say no on that one.
It's alright, we have more ideas. Lucy, cut the lights. Alright, so prototype number 2 is in the go. Alright, Uncle Walter. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, do your thing.
I guess I could tell another story about, I guess a Greek myth of Icarus. Sounds good, whatever. Well, whatever floats your boat. I got a plan. Just go.
Well then, after the destruction of the Minotaur, King Minos was very upset with Daedalus, the master architect who created the labyrinth, because you see, someone had escaped it, and it had not done exactly what he commissioned it to do. As punishment, King Minos threw Daedalus and his son Icarus deep into the middle of the labyrinth without any yarn or any way to find their way back.
All right, light change in 3, 2, 1. Go. Isaac, go.
I'm sorry.
Well, that was interesting. Anyways, despite King Minos' intentions, clever Daedalus was too inventive and developed a cunning plan for he and Icarus to escape. You see, without the yarn, the maze was too robust and diverse to dream of ever walking their way out. But he could always fly.
Ooh! I know where this is gonna be, where the sparkles are. I need sparkles. Uncle Walter, stall until I get sparkles.
Well, needless to say, being such a great inventor and architect, he began constructing 2 beautiful pairs of wings out of wax and branches, so that he and his son might climb to the top of the labyrinth and fly their way back to the town. But because these wings were stuck together with wax, when put too close to heat, they would melt. Daedalus was very aware of this, and he warned his son to be very careful and closer to the ground in the sky, lest he fly too close to the sun and melt his wings.
2 more seconds, Uncle Walter.
After a few days of crafting, the wings were finally
Done?
well, okay. Finished, and Daedalus and his son, Icarus, were ready to fly. But before they took off, Daedalus turned to his son to remind him of one more time to not fly too close to the sun, because if he did, the wax on his wings would begin to melt. So they took off, and the invention began to work, and Icarus became too excited, and with his magnificent wings, he flew higher, and higher, and higher, and higher, until the sun finally melted his beautiful wings away, and he fell all the way into the ocean.
Here comes the sea monster. It's got to destroy everything. Icarus is falling into the water. The sea monster. Ah!
Hey guys! Oh, this is much more exciting than I expected. Well, that was interesting. Unfortunately, I don't have any more slots for the cultural enrichment project.
What?
It's still not good enough.
No, kiddos. It was great. It really was. I don't think the community center has enough technical capabilities to make it, what you want. Nor do I have an opening for the slot for you guys to perform it on.
Aw. So we failed.
Oh, come on now, kids. You didn't fail. Think of it like the story. You had all these magnificent wings that we all made with our little puppet show. But we got too ambitious and flew a little too close to the sun.
If we scale it back a bit to its original form, we could do a shadow puppet story hour at the fall festival this year as a booth for people to come and visit. Oh, it would work. It'd be a beautiful advertisement for the library.
I think that's a lovely idea, Mr. Mayor. What do you think, kids?
I would love to help Walter.
I think I'll just watch.
Me too.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Lucy and I's ideas are too grandiose for your needs. Besides, we got our own ideas for the booths.
Oh, and what's that?
You'll just have to wait and find out.
Ooh!
And now I'm scared.
Oh dear.